Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today to record our podcast. An electric podcast called the Benton Movie Club, where we talk for a mighty long time, but I'm here to tell ya, there's somebody else. Our brother and nephew. Experts on all things Prince, they always want to discuss him, day or night. So when I called up my brother in North Weald, you know the one, the kickboxing historian, instead of asking him how much of his dinner he had left, we asked him if he'd like to be on our show. Because in this podcast, we'll be discussing 1984's Purple Rain. So it's in this one, we're not on our own.
Yeah, it's good.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's good. No,
it's good. I like that because
I didn't know. I didn't get words of
that. That was really good.
Song.
Actually.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was really good. That's let's go.
It's wasted on you. You were like, this poet. Hi, I'm Charlie.
Yeah, my name's Ben.
And we've got with us George
Our brother.
and his son Ben.
Our nephew.
We're here to discuss Purple Rain, the film from 1984, directed by Albert Magnoli, who also went on to direct Street Night, and he co-wrote it with William Blinn, who's most famous for writing Brian's Song from 1971. The film stars Prince, Apollonia, Kotero, Morris Day, and Clarence Williams III, who plays Prince's dad. He played Link Hayes in the Mod Squad for a number of years. Right, George, go on, tell us what Purple Rain's about.
Right, I'm George. It's loosely based on his life, and it's about him. Sort of a group, and they start losing their way with the music kind of thing, and the guy who runs the club is saying, listen, you know, as if you better pick it up, you better pull yourself together kind of thing, and he's having these problems at home with his mum and dad. Yeah. His dad's always beating his mum up, and his mum's winding the dad up, and this kind of thing.
Is that a real thing that happened? Did his dad beat his mum up?
I think his mum and dad were sort of like at a turbulent relationship kind of thing.
And his dad was a songwriter as well.
And his dad was a songwriter, yeah.
Prince had no hand in writing the film though, so it's like he was born to play the role.
I mean, it was obviously done as a vehicle for him to showcase his music.
And so basically what happens is that you have the First Avenue, which is a real club, the owner says to him, listen, you better get your stuff together, sort yourself out, because they've got other acts coming through.
Like Morris Day and the Time.
Morris Day and the Time, and you've got Des Dickinson, wasn't it? Yeah, Des Dickinson's supposed to be on other acts.
But that's his actual band in it, isn't it? It's the Revolution.
But then they're known as just the Revolution with them. It's not Prince and Revolution.
He's never referred to as Prince in the film.
Yeah. The kid.
He's known as the kid. That's it. Never referred to as
So
Prince.
when did you first see the film then, George?
Yeah, it must have been early teens when I saw it. And I didn't have it on video or nothing. I think I saw it on the telly.
Saw it a few months ago.
That's the first time?
Yeah, my dad sent me down to watch it.
So what do you like about the film then, used to? What is it that
the music in it is brilliant. Because obviously the soundtrack is the #1 soundtrack. That film, because of the soundtrack, it got an Oscar. That's the one Michael Jackson up, because it was the only thing that Michael Jackson didn't have. Michael Jackson and Prince shared, they had all the same awards they'd won,
Grammys.
But the only one that Michael Jackson never won was an Oscar, and Prince won an Oscar.
Ah, right.
He used to give him the ump, and he tried. That's why he did Moonwalker.
And he didn't
trying to see if he could
Moonwalker just didn't really work. It's alright, but it's just like a series of music videos.
It was, yeah. But this is just
because there's many music biopic films like Hard Day's Night and
Spice Girls the movie.
Yeah,
Spice World.
Which they use these vehicles to try and sort of I think more Hard Day's Night and Magical Mystery Tour, which they're not coherent and they're just random set pieces going into one another. There's no real story to it.
It's funny you say that Hard Day's Night. Purple Rain was the first film to be #1 at the box office, #1 album, and a #1 track in the singles charts. The last time that had happened before that was the Beatles with Hard Day's Night.
So Prince set out, because he was making an album almost every year, wasn't he? And then there was like a gap.
83 he didn't make an album.
Yeah, and
that's they were recording the film, wasn't it?
Was that why? So where he concentrated so much on the film?
But the music was just flowing through him at the time. They reckon he put together over 100 tracks
For this film.
for Purple
For them
Rain.
to pick,
And he gave them to that Magnoli, and that Magnoli even came back to him. And if there were certain scenes, he would say, "Do you think you could do a song for this?" Because you actually see it in the film when he's riding along with her on the bike, and he says, "Can you do a song for this?" So he went, "Take Me With You." "Take Me With You" was a fantastic song.
Apollonia sings on the track.
Yeah, but he went along, it took him like just one and done it. Next day came back, here you go, there's the track.
Yeah, that's when he makes a jump in the water.
Yeah,
Or he tricks
that's
her.
it. Yeah, tricks. Yeah, that's it.
Also, Prince asked Stevie Nicks to write lyrics for Purple Rain,
That's
but
it.
she got scared and she said it was like too much for her.
When you look on his albums, where it says written, produced, performed, almost every track is like Prince.
And the lead role was meant to be Prince's girlfriend Vanity, but she left him just before filming started, so then they wanted Jennifer Biel from Flashdance. She turned the role down, and then Apollonia 6 was drafted in. Oh, and also Lisa and Wendy were a couple during the film,
That's
and
right.
for 20 years later as well.
That's why in the beginning, the song Computer Blur, because he found out just before they were lesbians and they were lovers,
Yeah,
he does the thing at the beginning where she says, "Wendy, is
Yes,
the war
Lisa.
warm enough?"
yeah.
Talking about as if, is she ready for
Oh, okay.
thingy, and she says, "Yes, Lisa." So shall we begin? Yes, Lisa. That was his little thing of having a
right,
laugh
right.
of it, kind of thing that he found out because they were lovers.
Don't go on at me, Lisa.
Yeah.
And the original title of the film was meant to be called Dreams.
Dreams, that's it. Yeah, he has a bit of a thing going through his early career where there was Dreams was involved with a lot of things. There was an album, Dream Factory, and there was a song called Dreams and other bits and pieces. It was always a bit of a thing with that.
All My Dreams as well.
All My Dreams, that's it, yeah.
This film, years later, obviously when 8 Mile came out with Eminem, which those people were raving about, I always used to say this is 8 Mile's basically just a remake of Purple Rain. Because it goes with a similar pattern, as in Eminem flops, he's not doing that well, and it's just at the very end where he sort of blows them all away.
Yeah. Do you know what the link is with 8 Mile and Purple Rain?
Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's in 8 Mile.
She plays his mum,
She
doesn't
plays, she plays his mum. She
Yeah.
was Prince's girlfriend.
Yeah.
When
in real
was
life.
she his girlfriend?
Around the time of Batman. So you're talking about 89.
8, 9.
Yeah. And then they produced tracks together as well.
So, I know we're digressing from Purple Rain, but with Batman, obviously she's Vicky Vale in Batman, he's writing the soundtrack. Was that just a coincidence that they were both happy to work on the same film, or did one get the other one
No,
involved?
I think they met each other during
through
the Batman. Yeah. She had an awful singing voice, but I've actually got a couple of the tracks that they made together. A bit rubbish.
She made one song, was it Shake Your Head?
Yeah, it
Voice
was
Not Words.
Voice Not Words, yeah.
And
But she
she's
talks.
talking in that.
She's
Yeah.
not singing. Well, he gets to singing on this, and I think it's obviously because he likes her, but I can imagine he's probably sitting there thinking, I've got my work cut out here.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend is also Jill Jones, who's in the film.
Who's Jill Jones?
In the film, she's the blonde girl who works in the club. And she's the one at the very end where she comes in and she says hi, and he goes to walk out and he goes hi, and he just walks past her to go back out again to get the applause after Purple Rain. But she was his girlfriend for a
She
while.
plays his girlfriend in the sequel Graffiti Bridge as
And she
well.
was Original Revolution, wasn't she?
So was
1999 and that.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, she's
She's in the music video for 1999.
that's it, yeah.
I don't think she was actually in the band.
Also, First Avenue and 7th Street entry was paid $100,000 to close down the legendary Minneapolis music club for nearly a month, but they wound up wrapping the location in just 1 week.
So when he's playing on stage, is he playing live? Or was
Some
he
of
just
them
playing?
were recorded live. I Would
Yeah.
Die For You and Baby I'm a Star, I think, were recorded live.
Yeah, I could guess they were, because they're at the very end after Purple Rain, aren't they? He performs Purple Rain as his little strop, goes off stage.
Yeah, you can hear him cheering.
Yeah,
and
he
he
goes
goes,
back
yeah.
out and sings.
Because if you listen to the soundtrack, the actual album itself, Purple Rain, at the end as it's ending, you can hear the crowds cheering. Like,
But on the album, they move it the other way around, don't they? Purple Rain's the very last track on the album.
whereas in the film,
It's that, and then
it's I Would Die For You and Baby I'm a Star.
Yeah.
And did you also know Apollonia suffered from hypothermia after she went into the lake?
Yeah, I
As it
heard
was
that.
filmed on the 2nd day of November. I
Yeah.
think she had to do it off 3 or 4 takes.
I would have kept
And
it
in
warm.
the end, they shot it somewhere else completely anyway, another day. And the sex scene as well was shot in 3 different ways. The R-rated version. The R-rated version was the one that was used. He's proper touching her down below.
Yeah, great.
He's proper groping her. Like, there's no camera trickery there. And I thought, oh, maybe they was dating.
It weren't. They actually said they had more of a mother-son relationship on set as
Well,
well.
that makes it sound even
Which
worse.
makes it even worse.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, so parts of the movie came from Prince's childhood. The kid's father telling his son to never get married came from an actual conversation with his
That's
own
true.
dad.
That's when he goes down into the bait. He comes in and goes, "Where are you, motherfucker?"
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
it.
like, he's going to bash him up. You don't get bash anyone up. And then he goes down there and his dad's playing. What's that?
Father's song.
Yeah,
song.
which he
Which
uses in Computer Blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the computer, but he actually wrote that in real life with his dad.
I thought he was quite good in it, like acting wise.
Yeah, do you know the
Yeah, he
best,
went
do you know
bad,
the best
actually.
thing about
He
it
was
is as
pretty
well,
good.
is that there's not a lot of actors in it.
No.
There are actual people to do with Prince
Yeah.
and like his band. None of them were actors.
No.
And I thought that Wendy and Lisa were quite, especially that Wendy, I thought she was pretty good.
I thought Morris Day was quite good in it as
Morris
well.
Day was good, yeah, and
He's quite good as a comical villain, isn't it?
Yeah, Jerome Benton is mate in the time. They're virtually the only actors you've got. His mum and dad were actors. The nightclub owner was an actor, but apart from that,
Well,
all of them
Apollonia.
were just. Apollonia was an actor, yeah. But
That's her real name though as well.
yeah,
But he changed it because it's supposed to be Vanity something was the original thing, but then when she came on board, he changed the character's name to
Apollonia
Apollonia.
6, yeah, and then the band became Apollonia 6.
Yeah. I found it like a sort of like a long music video.
But at the same time, it's not a
With a
musical.
story going
It's not a
through it.
musical, as in like they all start dancing and start sort of
No.
make believe, all dancing and singing.
Like a
It's
Phoebe Bridge.
it's about it's about a band
So it's
and they
realistic.
sing at times. Yeah, the music isn't playing and they go into some sort of fantasy thing, like as if like Mary Poppins or
No.
So it's
Yeah,
like
it's
within
similar.
Graffiti Bridge then?
In Graffiti Bridge, it's more like people
Yeah.
burst out into song out of nowhere
That is-
with no
yeah.
equipment or anything.
I haven't seen Graffiti Bridge or
Don't
Cherry
watch
Bridge.
it.
No,
Really?
well, Graffiti Bridge. No, I don't. Well, it ain't the best film, but we watch it because I like the album anyway. But
Yeah.
Graffiti Bridge is supposed to be the second part of Purple
Yeah,
Rain.
because he's the kid.
Has he made any other films apart from them two?
Yeah, well, in
Yeah.
between he made
Under the Cherry Moon.
Under the Cherry Moon, but
It's
he
all
also
black
did.
and white, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like-
and he actually directed that. But
Is that any good?
It won a
flopped.
Razzie.
Yeah, it flopped.
Really?
Yeah,
it
for worst
flopped.
motion picture.
Yeah, but the album's brilliant. The album's
Parade,
great.
yeah.
How long have you been a Prince fan for then, George?
10, 11 years old probably,
Yeah.
actually. I liked Prince before that. There was a couple of songs I knew of, but I never had any of his albums.
Yeah.
And I told our Uncle Alan,
Mm.
and he was a massive Prince fan.
Yeah.
And then one day he came to my school, passed me through the fence, a couple of Prince albums, which one was...
What they recorded.
Yeah, and they went Purple Rain, the one was Around the World in a Day and Love Sexy. I took those and I listened to them because you know I wanted Around the World in a Day because I like Raspberry Beret. And then that was it from there.
Yeah, they're two of his best albums.
They're brilliant, yeah, really good.
What's that one you liked to mine? It was the one that you just...
Oh, Diamonds and Pearls.
Diamonds and Pearls.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
I had that in a hologram.
Yeah, what I loved about, say, like with Controversy, where he says, am I black or white, am I straight or gay? It's like he doesn't want to answer it. He prefers to be this enigma where he doesn't sort of fall in the category of white artist, black artist, straight artist, gay, even male or female. He so tries to stay as a...
Which is how he should have stayed.
Yeah, he should have stayed like that because that made him more appealing to a wider audience because people think he could be my friend, one of me.
Yeah, no one's left out kind of thing.
What was his last best album? What was his last album that you say was his best album? The last one he made, which
was really great.
Before, yeah, that you would say that was fantastic, but then it didn't go. Then
For me,
it
it
sort
was
of went downhill
Rave.
a little bit.
Raven to the Joy Fantastic because he
Well-
had ones after that which I like, but again I would not. I don't listen to him regularly. Obviously, you do more because you're probably bigger fans. But for me, it was Rave. Before that, it was Gold, and before that, the Love Symbol album, Diamonds and Pearls, and then all the 80s ones were great.
Yeah, the 90s, there's a lot of good 90s albums.
Yeah,
But the very last two albums he did were called Hit and Run 1 and 2.
yeah.
And they were alright, they're pretty good.
In Hit and Run, he...
And then he died. So it was like...
In Hit and Run, he died.
No, he didn't. Yeah, in Hit and Run he died, yeah.
he did like a early 2010s club sound with some of the songs on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like dance music.
Yeah, that's right. You can see him going back to his past. He's pulling up stuff from the past.
I said, no, I've never really. I like Prince. I think Prince is fantastic. He's, when I watched the film the other night, fantastic stage presence. I was never into Prince like what yous all are.
Elton John, who I don't really have a lot of time
No, I
for,
don't.
but he said that Prince was the musician's musician.
Well, you said you see him in concert, and he played a massive long concert.
I see him twice.
At the interval,
Yeah.
he would sit there playing the piano.
Yeah.
And he'd be playing Diamonds and Pearls or something, and all of a sudden everyone start getting excited, and we go, nah, I'm only joking.
You don't know what that is.
You don't know what it is, and they start playing something else. So he didn't actually leave the stage. and everyone would go and get their drinks. Then everyone come back. Then he'd start again, but then he'd go to the after parties, and he would still
3 hours.
perform for another couple of hours.
At the O2.
And I appreciate. That's what I'm saying. You rarely get people like that now.
Yeah, the 21 nights, he was a workaholic. That's what killed him.
But he obviously loved what he done. It wasn't like a lot of them. It's for the money. I'm going to earn another couple of mil. I'll sit in there, sing a song. That's it. I'm straight out of there. Get me out of there. They're not. There's no passion.
No,
Whereas with him, he obviously had passion, and that's what I respect with him. Don't get me wrong. I love this. Some of his songs are amazing. Yeah. I'm just not obviously at the same league as what you are and what you.
Well, he doesn't tap into what your taste as much as
no. And I can appreciate him, and I think he's amazing.
But this is the thing when you said about he's a musician. I've seen so many interviews where you see like Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney saying, and this was back in the 80s.
That's right. Yeah.
Where he's saying he's the guy. He's basically saying, no, he's the guy to watch. He's a fantastic musician. It starts gushing over him, saying how good he was.
Now he's dead. They're now realising he was one of the greatest guitarists of all time.
Oh, listen, he'll never go. His legend is just gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger. Yeah. But you was lucky enough, used to at least, you was lucky enough to see him in concert. You see him twice. You two went together, didn't you? One time.
We did the 21 Nights.
Yeah.
And you know that 21 Nights as well. Once he'd done the concert, every single time he would go after to what's it called? What's the place called? Indigo. And he would do another 3 hour set there.
Yeah, amazing.
Every night, 21 Nights.
Yeah.
Purple Rain was the thing that really launched him superstardom. Because he had 1999, which was brilliant, and he had all this. And even at the time, you had that famous video with James Brown gets Michael Jackson on stage, and Michael Jackson's like, bring Prince up on stage. And Prince comes up on stage, and everyone in there, you can tell they don't know who he is yet.
Yeah.
But he was literally on the verge of exploding with Purple Rain.
What made him explode? What song?
Purple Rain.
Song Purple Rain.
It was When Doves Cry.
Album.
Is the song?
When Doves Cry, which is on Purple Rain.
Which was released before.
So that was his first hit.
Yeah, but it was released before the film as well.
Yeah.
So it was like as if G'ing everyone up.
Yeah.
They released When Doves Cry, which was the first #1 song to have no bass in it.
Yeah, there was no bass guitar in it.
Completely took all the bass, no bass in it at all. He took it out purposely.
Okay.
And he wanted to, because I heard that he was toying with it. He was recording for ages, and he came up with a bass line which he really liked, and he played it to. I can't remember who she was, but he played it to this girl, and she said, "What's the problem?" He says,
I think that was Jill Jones.
Yeah, it might have been. And he said, "I really like it, but it sounds better without the bass." And she said, "Well, take the bass out then. You're Prince. Do what you want." And I thought, "Yeah, I will. I'll just take the bass out," even though he loved the bass line that he'd done for it.
Yeah.
But it was basically Purple Rain. It's like
that.
Prince's Desperately Seeking Susan.
That's what I was about to say, because Madonna had just come out. You know when I was filming Desperately Seeking Susan, for the beginning of the film, she was just, I think she'd had 1 or 2 little hits, nothing major. Halfway through the film, that Like a Virgin was released, but by the end of filming Desperately Seeking Susan, that's had all security around. Because she turned from the beginning of the film to the end of the film, she had turned into Madonna.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So same with Prince with Purple Rain. He'd already made that hit, and by the time the film came out, he was Prince, and it was like, oh my God, this is like a legend, and that's it. From that moment onwards, they just go up and up and up.
I'll tell you the link there as well.
He went out with her as well, didn't he?
He did briefly, but she also came on stage to perform with him during the Purple Rain tour.
Oh right, so she would have been like the proper Madonna then?
Yeah.
Like the 80s
He came
Madonna.
on stage, because he helped her with a couple of songs. And
that'd be interesting
he
to
does
see.
the guitar solo at the beginning of Like a Prayer.
Yeah.
You know, the crazy guitar. And it goes pretty cuts out. That's Prince.
Yeah.
I would have loved to seen that though, with them two on stage when she was that early 80s.
He got her on stage during the Purple Rain tour, and if you see the Purple Rain concert like the Syracuse one, you can imagine it would have been phenomenal. He'd gone, I've got someone to come up. She would have come up and
she was massive at the time as well when she first hit.
And Bruce Springsteen as well. Bruce Springsteen.
Amazing.
Although wasn't that Desperately Seeking Susan? That came out in '85, did it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So Purple Rain tour, was that '84 or '85?
'84.
So she might have been just on the verge. So loads of people might have been like, "Oh, I've heard of her," kind of
It
thing.
might have gone into '85, but it was '84. Most of it was.
Right. Also, I want to say the budget for this film was $7.2 million, and it made $70.3 million in the box office.
That's
So not bad, not bad. Also on IMDb, it had a 6.5 rating out of 10. He's very very effeminate looking, but he gets all the girls.
Yeah.
All the girls, all the gorgeous girls, all were so attracted to.
Yeah.
Same as like with Frankenfurter, like Rocchioro, you said loads of people like was obsessed with him because that effeminate kind of look. Like if you look at some of the Bowie and all that, very effeminate, and they got all the girls, everyone fancied them, and also all the best, all the pretty girls, all like the gorgeous girls, and it's like so obviously there's something there that people see that he's like there was. I mean, I personally look. He was little and makeup, but there's obviously something there that
I think it's the confidence as well.
Yeah.
Someone with that
and
much
the talent.
confidence.
The talent.
Yeah, I think he's quite comparable to David Bowie in a way. Because
David
Bowie, not
yeah.
just the androgynous thing, but the fact that they both often reinvented themselves, tried new things with music, and they'd make music which didn't sound like anyone else's music at the time.
They both had alternate personas as well.
Yeah,
and they were one-offs, both of them.
Yeah,
you never get another Prince or another Bowie, and none of them.
No.
And also, the Rotten Tomatoes it got 71% by the critics and 78% by the audience.
Can I just say as well, another fact I know, when they were doing the previews of the film, everyone who viewed it, the people they got to view it, went mad for it, and they loved it, and the rate, and they gave their thing, and went back to Warner Brothers, and they thought that this Magnoli, the director, had basically got in a load of Prince groupies to come and watch it, and they would have said it's brilliant anyway. So they picked a secret location, somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah.
And the people that watched it the first time, they loved it so much they refused to leave the theatre until they played it again, and they ended up playing it 3 times in a row of the film. Before, and they didn't want to leave because the people they said it was like a younger audience and it was the stuff. I
suppose really it's like a music concert, isn't it? Especially at the end, it's basically it's Prince in concert,
and also it's
like the last. Doesn't he do like 3 songs or something in a row? It's like watching him in concert.
That's fantastic how it ends. He does Purple Rain, and then he goes into I Would Die For You, which is my favourite track from that album.
What's your favourite song, Prince, of all time? Have you got one now?
Oh yeah, but it's unreleased tracks.
You say this all the time. Every time I ask you, you're like,
no, do you know what?
It hasn't been released.
No, that's the thing. That's what I say. Because he's got so many songs in the vault still to come out.
So are you saying the song that yours your favourite, you haven't heard it yet?
I haven't heard it yet.
Exactly.
I probably haven't heard it yet.
There's a good point to that because I remember after Prince died, there was George showed me loads of his stuff which hadn't been released.
Yeah.
Because he'd recorded twice as much stuff and half of it he chucks in his vault, right? So loads of it you're never going to hear or you won't hear for years to come. And one of them was that Electric Intercourse. Yeah. And you played me the demo to Electric Intercourse and I thought, that's amazing. That's such a good song. And I think that was around
the studio one as well.
Wasn't
brilliant.
That? Right,
they released it.
That was around the time of Purple Rain, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was there.
So that could have easily, this song, which I think...
Well, it was 82, I think, he did the original recording.
Yeah.
And he'd done a newer version, which was supposed to be on Purple Rain.
So you're telling me that they could possibly be bringing out more Prince albums with all brand new material?
Yeah, they've got albums, they've
done deluxe editions of albums with, like, say, they're remastering Diamonds and Pearls. It's got like 47 unreleased tracks on it.
Oh, so he's got that many songs?
Yeah. That Electric Intercourse, that was supposed to be in place of, in the film, when he plays The Beautiful Ones.
See, I love Beautiful Ones.
He was going to play Electric Intercourse instead, which would have been brilliant.
I don't think it would have suited the scene.
Yeah, but it's just, it's a bit, Beautiful Ones is a bit more of a romantic sort of song, whereas Electric Intercourse is proper raw.
Beautiful Ones sort of suits the scene better. Is that the one where he goes, do you want him?
Yeah.
Or do you want me? Yeah. I want you. Because that's at the time when she's
erring
between Morris Day and Prince.
Yeah. That's probably why they went with that in the end. But it was a toss up between those two.
But I can't help but thinking it would have been good, even if they never had it in the film where he's meant to be. If they had it maybe on the end credits, then they could stick it on the album as well. Because I would have loved that to have been on Purple Rain, have it as a 10-track album, you know.
Yeah. So, what about you, Ben? What is it that you like about the film?
I mean, I love the music, which is a given for anyone who watches it and likes it. I like the whole band dynamic as well. I think it was interesting. It's entertaining because it makes turns his band into characters really. And then you look at his other albums and you're like, these are the characters from the movie. You know,
like Dr. Fink.
Dr. Fink, yeah. Yeah, so it just gives them personas, kind of.
Yeah. Soon as it started with that Dearly Beloved, it was like straight away, and I thought, they're making a fantastic funeral song. You know, for someone.
So that was what I was referencing at the beginning of this podcast.
I'm not hardcore like you, I didn't recognise it until afterwards. So I just said it then. But yeah, no, it was a really good film. I did enjoy it. And he was good in it. I mean, his acting was good in it. He was.
It made him though.
Yeah,
that film made him. He was well known,
Yeah.
but that film made him a worldwide superstar.
That was because up to that point, obviously, the number one star was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He had just off the back of Thriller, it was 82, but Michael Jackson had like 5 years between albums, so he took a long time. Prince was doing an album every year, but none was as big as Thriller. And then you think, off of Thriller, everyone's waiting for Bad to come out. Also, Purple Rain lands, and they're like, well, forget Michael Jackson. There's this guy who writes all of his own songs, plays all his instruments. This is partly why Quincy Jones pushed Michael Jackson to write all the songs on Bad. He said, you've got to sort up your game, I want you to write, because Michael Jackson can write good songs. He wrote like Billie Jean and stuff, but there was that Rod Temperton would write loads of stuff for him and write the lyrics. So obviously it made Michael Jackson up his game. And then when Bad came out, when the album Bad came out, Faith by George Michael outsold it.
Yeah, the song Bad. Well, originally it was planned. The whole thing was based around they were going to have Michael Jackson and Prince performing. Quincy Jones got a meeting set up between Prince and Michael Jackson. Quincy Jones just said, Prince said, no, listen, this is be a hit without me.
You don't need me.
You don't need me. But then Prince was interviewed by Chris Rock and he said, what happened with that? They sat down and said to me, this is the lyrics to the song. Michael Jackson's going to say to you, or the lyrics are, your butt is mine. And Prince said, well, first of all, you ain't going to say that to me, and secondly, I ain't going to say that to you. All right, so I think we'll just draw a line under it, kind of thing. Right? Well, anyway, there's more to it. Because supposedly, another story I read was that Michael Jackson supposedly sent one of the early copies to Prince. Prince supposedly took it, made his own version of Bad, sent it back to Michael Jackson, and they played it. And apparently this is according to his manager and another guy at the time was in the office when they played Prince's version of Bad, and apparently they went, oh, that's really good.
Have you ever heard it? Is this in the Bad? Have you ever heard it?
No, well, apparently this is the story, this is the thing, the mythology of it. Supposedly Michael Jackson was so angry he took the thing out, threw it in the bin.
And what noise did he make with
But they
it?
reckon, and they apparently Michael Jackson was fuming because this Prince's version of Bad, they said sounded better than Michael Jackson's version of Bad.
Yeah.
The one he said back saying, no, this is how it should sound. And Michael Jackson called him a meanie or something like that. Big meanie. Yeah. But they reckon that in that room, of the 2 or 3 guys that were in the room at the time when Michael Jackson heard that and that was chucked in the bin, one of them picked that cassette up out of the bin. So there is a version of Bad by Prince.
Yeah, but surely it would have
it sounds better that they've kept to themselves. Well, no, that's not the case.
Also Prince may have had a copy in his vault.
Yeah.
So there is still a chance that we'll see.
How will you know if it's in his vault?
We don't. Well, what happened with his vault? All the songs that was in there. As soon as he died, straight away the Prince estate, the people took over, went in, and they cleared out the vault because it is absolutely priceless what's in there. They can make money for 100 years.
Where is it all then?
And they've taken it all to a place called Iron Mountain, which is a place in California. And basically they've got people, they've now hired people to go into the vault, dip into it, take that bits and
So he might have
pieces,
Bad in there then?
clean it up and have it stored on record it all, every single thing. Because
So he's got how many albums left to come then? Probably about 10, 11, hundreds of albums.
And I know at the time when Purple Rain tour was going on, they were recording 4 different albums.
Yeah.
One called Roadhouse Garden, Crystal Ball, Dream Factory, Parade, all at the same time. They were recording all 4 of them, and one of them got released, which was Parade, and the other 3 were put on a back burner, and Dream Factory became Sign of the Times.
Why do you not smoke while we're doing the podcast?
Sorry.
Second-hand smoke.
I wasn't, it was a bloody vape.
There's
thing
not
that's
one
down
bad
there.
song on Purple Rain. I think.
There is a bad song on Bad.
On Bad.
No, the funny thing about that, going back to Bad, I really like the album Bad, but I don't like the song Bad.
No, I don't.
I hate the backing singers going bad, bad,
Really bad.
He's
That's a bad
intimidating as a bloody wet flannel. Why would you be intimidated by Michael Jackson? He's trying to force his attitude. But the rest of the songs on Bad, brilliant. I think that's
Speed
Speed Date. No, I enjoyed the film. To be honest with you, it's been a while since I've watched it, but I've watched it a number of times and I do enjoy it. And I'm always pleasantly surprised at how well he acts in it. I think if he wasn't so obsessed with his music, he could have probably had an acting career. Similar to, say, Madonna, every so often would do a film, whether it's Evita or League of Their Own, something like that, concentrating on the acting. And maybe if he hadn't been so involved creatively with his later films, like Under the Cherry Moon and Graffiti Bridge, he might have been able to concentrate more on the acting. Because if you're trying to juggle too many balls, you spread yourself thin. Whereas with Purple Rain, obviously he ain't got to worry about the writers or directors. He's stuck his nose in at places, but he can concentrate on doing a really good performance.
Yeah.
Also, Benton Apollonia messaged you.
It messaged me. She liked to comment on Instagram.
She replied to you, though.
Really? What was the
She
comment?
Yeah, Apollonia,
heart.
she replied to
She
you.
replied with
What
a
was your
heart.
comment?
No, she didn't just reply with a heart. She said it was something like, thank you very much.
Oh
or
yeah,
something
thank
like
you.
that.
What was your comment?
Oh, one of her family members had gone into hospital or something. I wished them like luck, and she was like, "Yeah, thank you, heart."
Right, okay. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Next podcast, Ben, is your choice. What are you going for?
Well, hopefully we're going to be doing Clash of the Titans because we've got
Yeah.
Georgia, who I apparently when he was a little boy I traumatised him with it, and
And apparently,
yeah, I did
it.
traumatise him with Medusa that he still to this day can't sort of be in the room with her.
Yeah. Which is good for you, I suppose. So it's done.
Right, well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yes, thank you very much, and we'll catch up with you soon. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.